Klatt is joining us today, and we are looking forward to traveling this week.
It's finally here. We got a game week.
Finally here.
I love it. You don't look so happy. Is it because I'm here, Shannon?
Can't wait to hear these predictions.
I'm sure.
I think I'm going to hear a lot of Saint Nick here.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
Well, I got to start with you, Joel, because you are a special guest. Who is going to win it all? Let's start this off the right way.
It's borderline irresponsible to pick anybody but Alabama at this point.
I knew it.
It really is. I mean, it really is.
Is it just say it's irresponsible?
No. It's borderline. It's getting there. There are a lot of really quality teams. I think Clemson's a great team. Georgia's a great team. I think Ohio State's really talented, and they might even be better this year than they were a year ago. But you have to pick Alabama. It's just where we're at in college football right now. They've got the best roster, they've got the best coach, and their schedule is designed not just to win, but to win championships. The SEC does that for them. They very rarely ever have to play, more than 3 Power 5 opponents on consecutive weeks. And that's the same type of schedule they've got this year. Those 3 opponents are Arkansas, Missouri, and Tennessee. Hardly a murderer's row. Yeah. They're in the SEC before they get a bye or an FCS opponent. Everything suggests that Alabama is not only going to walk to the playoffs, but be very well rested and well prepared once they're there. So for me, my national champion this year is now the Crimson Tide. Wow. Alabama.
Shocking and gutsy.
Skip, you know what it's called. It's not the college football playoff. It's the AI, the Alabama Invitational.
It really is.
When you play in the Maui Invitational, no matter how bad Chaminade is, they show up every year, don't you?
Yeah, they do.
You've used that line before.
So St. Nick.
It's as lame as it always
is. Hold on. Think about this, Skip. Lane Kiffin, he goes away. Jeremy Pruitt, he goes away. Brian Daboll, he goes away. Yeah. Sarkisian, McIlvain, it doesn't matter.
Number 1 recruiting class, number one. What's going to happen?
And who's the man that goes in the house and sits down on mom's or grandma's couch and say, you know what, I coached in the NFL for a long time. Your son is good enough to go play in NFL. I sure would love to help him reach his dream. You know what they say, baby? You need to sign with that man.
That's right.
Yeah, baby, you need to sign with that man. And he got him. He don't make any promises. He's not taking them to Normandy. They're not going to the Vatican. They're not going to any fancy places. All they're going is they're going 90 miles north.
You might give up 40, but you're going to win.
But you're going to win the national championship. You want a ring? Do you want to win?
8 times, 40 plus.
How many Power 5 teams?
That's outrageously bad.
Do you know how many Power 5
Shannon,
teams?
the floor
I want you to finish. But he keeps bringing up this stat.
Look, if you want to win an SEC title, you go to Alabama. You want to win a national title, you go to Alabama. If you want to be assured that you're going to go play in the National Football League, you go to Alabama. It's just, Skip, if you want to be a world-renowned surgeon, you probably need to go to the Mayo Clinic, get understudied at the Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, Mass General.
Johns Hopkins.
Yeah. You want to get intern to get ready for the NFL? You go to Alabama.
Yeah, you go to Alabama.
Yeah.
So, predictably, both of you took the easy way out, the safe way out, now the internet can't kill me way out. I respect that.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
But I'm going to actually have some guts here. I'm going to take a long shot. I'm going to take the team that plays the toughest schedule in the country this year. I'm going to take 14th ranked Michigan. And you know why I'm going to do it? Because I'm going to put my pride out on the table and have courage of my convictions, because I told you last week, Jim Harbaugh is a better all-around proven head football coach than Nick Saban, because in the NFL, Jim Harbaugh coached Nick Saban under the table with 3 straight NFC championship games and 1 Super Bowl that they should have won and they got robbed in, but we'll save that for later. So this is not going to be easy, because obviously Jim Harbaugh turned around San Diego and he turned around Stanford, but he has not yet turned around the University of Michigan. And that is because this is the 4th year and he has not yet had a quarterback. And now he has a real, live, bona fide college quarterback named Shea Patterson, who had moments of brilliance as a former 5-star recruit at Ole Miss. And he got hurt last year, and he's now Michigan's starting quarterback. And I think this is going to be the turnaround year for a team that's pretty loaded, especially on defense. boy, I like Rashawn Gary. Every time I watch him, I like Devin Bush. I can go on and on about the players I like on defense. And I got to tell you, nobody ever talks about Don Brown, but he's one of the great defensive minds in this country.
I'll back you up on that.
In the last couple of years, they've had the second-ranked defense and then the third-ranked defense under Don Brown.
Where the number one ranked defense?
Well, that's okay.
Oh, say,
hey,
but I'm just saying.
I have a couple of questions.
I'm going to finish.
But I mean, just let me know when you're done, because I've got a couple of questions.
Here's the problem. Michigan, and I'm going way out on a limb here because I think this is going to be the year that he gets it because I love his coaching staff and I love the talent on the team and I like the quarterback. But they're a 1-point underdog on Saturday night. I think it's 7:30 Eastern on NBC at Notre Dame. They're a 1-point underdog, just a 1 point. But that's a huge game. Could they lose it and still make the playoffs? They certainly could. But they have to play at 11th-ranked Michigan State and at now 5th-ranked Ohio State, and they get 4th-ranked Wisconsin at home and 10th-ranked Penn State at home.
Yep.
That is a killer schedule. That's way harder than Alabama's schedule. But if you get through it and you win the Big Ten,
they'll be in if that happens. No doubt. I've got two questions for you. Are we competing for the Super Bowl or for the national championship?
Why are you
I'm just asking you a question. Is it Super Bowl or national championship?
Well, on this show, it's mostly Super Bowl.
Okay, but what was the question here?
We don't talk about college.
But what was the question? What was the question here?
You're in the minor leagues. So you're in the.
What was the question?
He like khaki pants.
We're talking about the national championship, not the Super Bowl. So their NFL acumen, quite frankly, does not bring a lot to the table right now because in college football, Nick Saban has coached Jim Harbaugh under the table, and I'm a Jim Harbaugh defender. Now,
I don't think you are, but go ahead.
I would very much say that I am. Now, you talked about Michigan over Alabama. Do you know how many times Michigan has won their own division since the Big Ten had a title game? How many?
None.
0. Nick Saban's got 5 national championships at Alabama.
He gets to play Vanderbilt.
At Alabama. Plus, you bring up all these 40-point games, okay? You bring up the 8 40-point games since 2007. There's only 4 Power 5 teams that have given up less or fewer 40-point games, okay? It's Wisconsin, Iowa, LSU, and Ohio State. I want to dig a little bit deeper, though, because do you know that Alabama's record in those games is 4-4? They're 500. You might think to yourselves, Shannon, that doesn't seem that good. Well, it's not that good until you dig into the record of those other 4 teams that have given up fewer 40-point games than Alabama. They are 3-19 combined. This guy wins regardless of what style he's got to win. He's won 5 national championships with 4 different coordinator combinations on his staff. He's replaced those coordinators and still gotten the #1 recruiting class in the country. Like I said, I'm going to circle all the way back to the beginning. Because now it's no longer borderline. You know what it is? Straight irresponsible to not pick Alabama for the national championship.
I love it.
And you know what? A lot of people have confused guts and stupidity, and I think we're at that line right now because you can't just say, I'm gutsy for saying something that you can't back up.
The cliched live coward instead of the dead hero, is that right?
I would rather
live cowards.
I would rather be beholden to the truth than be beholden.
I just made a pick and I backed it up.
To faith alone.
14th ranked Michigan.
So
I like their chances.
What makes you
I don't think Michigan's bad. I don't think Michigan's bad. Michigan's a great team this year.
Has he had a quarterback? Can you even name one of those?
Coach Saban said, what's that?
Yeah.
What's a quarterback?
You know
Coach
what?
Saban said, what's a quarterback?
Interesting
What do you
brought
mean?
that up
Greg
because-
McElroy, national championship. A.J. McCarron, 2 national championships. Jacob Coker, who was that?
Yeah.
Shannon?
He took
running
the running
backs
back.
and defense, right? Yeah. Michigan's got both their running backs back from last year.
Well,
And the
I'm
offensive
telling you,
line's all back
don't
from
make-
last
you
You keep making this like a
Interesting.
difference between the two. You can love Michigan and Alabama at the same time, but it's very clear that you would need to pick Alabama in a conversation between the two
It's
for a
not
national
clear to me
championship.
because all of a sudden, speaking of quarterback quandaries like the Eagles have, I think Coach Saban has one, and he won't even commit who his starter is because he's trying to juggle the 2 egos of those 2 kids right now, and that could cost him. I've seen Coach Saban do bizarre things at quarterback. Like one year at Ole Miss, didn't he start Coker when he hadn't played yet? And they blew that game. Remember Chad Kelly just smoked him? And
You don't mind me asking, Skip? You don't make me forget. You made me forget what I wanted to ask you now.
because I just stomped all over your.
What makes you think that Khaki Pants is going to do what he
He's
hadn't
not
done?
Khaki Pants. His name is Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, Khaki Pants, Jim Harbaugh. What makes you think he's going to do what he hadn't been able to do since he's been there? beat Ohio State and Michigan State.
Quarterback.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, quarterback. You
Okay,
had a
we'll see.
quarterback.
Listen,
You got to have somebody.
They've got a great chance to win that division, and let's
Listen,
crawl before we
I have
walk
watched
and
some of
walk
Shea Patterson.
before we run.
Shea Patterson can move a little bit.
Yeah.
He's a rambling gambler. He's got a little swag to him.
I'm a big Michigan guy.
Hey,
I'm just telling you, like,
Jim
before
Harbaugh's
we
gonna
start
have
throwing
to
out
cease and
national
desist.
championship, can we start talking about, like, let's win the division?
Yeah.
And Jim Harbaugh, he's
Notre
going to have
Dame?
to take his hands from around the quarterback's throat and step back and just let
When has
Shea
he ever done
Patterson
that?
operate.
When has he ever done that?
Pep Hamilton's there. I love Pep Hamilton.
Pep's great.
Yeah, coach.
By the
I'm
way, guess
asking-
who else is there? Former Alabama offense coordinator Jim
Jim
McElwain.
McElwain is there. They got a coaching staff.
That's what we give. That's what we do.
Well,
You take them you want. They go to the NFL, you got a pipeline. Go to the NFL.
see, I
and
just
take
picked the
coaches.
team that plays the toughest schedule in America. Was that not guts?
I think the last team to win the national championship while playing the toughest schedule in America, and this is top of my head, but I believe it was in 1991, University of Colorado.
Oh.
I don't think it's been
should
done
know
since
that.
then.
Were you the quarterback on that team?
That was a little bit before his time.
Yeah, I think Shannon was still in school.
I don't know.
No, I was in Denver then.
You were in Denver already.
Yeah, 90. But
And by the way, since I've now predicted that Michigan will win it all this year,
You gonna be
I
wrong?
might have sped the demise of one khaki pants because now, if they don't do it this year, he might be in some big trouble.
No,
Why? Why? They're so much better off with him at head coach than
I
they have
agree.
been
I love
before.
But
And by the way, he has
but he
turned
ain't
them
that
around.
guy.
He is.
He's not that guy.
He's a better football coach.
Stop! Skip saying that.
Skip.
And you know
Come
what?
on.
Don Brown's the equal
Okay,
of that guy on defense.
No.
It's just
Come
too
on.
soon, Skip. I feel like this is irresponsible. I
Come
think
on.
That was a good way
Good,
to look
I'll
at
be
it. Joel, thank you
irresponsible.
for being
Saban,
here.
Saban's the best college football coach ever.
Ever?
We can
Yes.
talk more about this all season. I
I'm sure
promise,
we will.
guys. And we're